One of the most amazing things about Teslas is that the vehicles just keep getting better and better year after year thanks to the over-the-air software updates. Between the summers of 2024 and 2025, I noticed so many improvements to the driving experience, especially with full self-driving. During our 2025 summer road trip, I made a list of 14 random observations about new features that are directly related to the road trip experience in a Tesla. In this video, I'm going to share that list with you. Glad you're here. Welcome back to TesLUCKY, the YouTube channel where you can follow the adventures of Lucky the Tesla Model X and Karma the Tesla Model Y. Today in the Florida Keys, it's a little bit chilly. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the hottest part of the day is 62 degrees. Feels like 50. And ladies and gentlemen, here in the Florida Keys, that becomes seat heater weather. And time for little sweatshirts that say Key West with a rooster for the Y. And speaking of roosters, here in the Florida Keys, our Facebook feeds fill up with pictures of roosters wearing jackets. It happens. But enough about roosters. Let's talk about Teslas. We have been Tesla owners for 7 years. We have owned a Model Y, Karma, the vehicle I'm sitting in, for about a year and a half. We have always loved Tesla road trips. I would say we have been on probably about 10 Tesla road trips that were 4,000 miles or longer in both our Model X and our Model Y. I just love the evolution of the driving experience in a Tesla. And we noticed big differences between the older Model X and the newer Model Y in terms of the road trip experience. We devoted an entire road tripping video to the details with that comparison. But this video today is specifically going to be talking about the Model Y and differences that we observed in just 1 year between 2024 and 2025 on our summer road trips. First, let me tell you a little bit about Karma. These are her specs. Karma is a 2024 long-range all-wheel drive Tesla Model Y with full self-driving and free supercharging for life. On this particular road trip back in summer of 2025, we went a total of 4,079 miles. We went from Key West to New Jersey all the way up the East Coast, then west over to Ohio and back to Florida through Kentucky, Tennessee, and Georgia. We had so much fun on this road trip. A couple quick highlights for you. We took a limo with Carly's New Jersey family into New York City to see her perform at the bitter end. We went to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio to ride roller coasters. We got to spend quality time in Tennessee with Carly's grandparents in Fairfield Glade, where I almost had a hole-in-one. On our way home, we visited the University of Central Florida campus in Orlando, and we had so much fun in St. Augustine with Charity and Olivia, and got to take Olivia to Buc-ee's for the first time. Charity and Olivia are very special to us. Shout out to Charity and Olivia. I mentioned in Karma's specs that we have free supercharging for life, and at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the data and the analysis of how much money we saved on this 4,079 mile road trip with that free supercharging for life. So you're going to want to make sure to watch this video all the way to the end. But now let's get to the list. And I will be using note cards, which I actually wrote this summer while we were on the trip. Number one, I love full self-driving for the scenario where you have to merge across multiple lanes of traffic because Karma does not have a blind spot. I do with my human eyes when I'm looking over my shoulders and trying to see if the lane is clear. The car has 8 cameras. There's cameras on every angle that are all looking simultaneously. And I actually think it's a much safer maneuver to get over multiple lanes with the cameras doing the looking instead of these eyes. Number 2, a recent software update gave us this really cool new feature where you can set arrival energy if you want to get to your destination high state of charge because you're leaving the next morning and maybe you don't have an overnight charging option, or if you do have an overnight charging option and you want to get in at like 5 or 10% battery. I think it's really cool that you can set that in the MCU of the vehicle, but I noticed that you cannot set arrival energy to a supercharger. And I thought that that was rather confusing. I don't understand why I can't say that I want to pick a supercharger where I'm going to be low battery versus sometimes it wants you to stop and you're at like 30%, and I'm like, no, I can keep going. I want to stop further down the road. So I just thought that that was interesting. Have any of the other Tesla drivers watching this video had that experience where you have wanted to set arrival energy to a supercharger? Let me know if I'm the only one or if you think that would be handy too. Number 3, full self-driving and ambulances. Now this is something that'll probably improve in the future, but I noticed that full self-driving is very courteous in circumstances where there is a car coming up behind you that is going faster than you, and maybe you're in the left lane. The full self-driving will actually move over a lane, let the faster car pass, and then get back into the lane. I typically drive in hurry mode. That's the full self-driving behavior that I see. But I had an experience where there was an ambulance with the flashing lights behind me, and I waited a moment or two to see if Karma was gonna get over, and she did not. So I had to take the vehicle out of full self-driving and manually slow my speed and get over to let the ambulance pass. I would really expect full self-driving to know that there is a fast-moving ambulance with its lights on behind me. So I'm a little bit perplexed by this one, but maybe by 2026 this problem will be solved. Do you have any experience with ambulances and full self-drive? We would love to hear that in the comments as well. Number 4, sometimes the charging stops are too fast for us on road trips, that we need more time to eat, use the facilities, go into shops, and sometimes it's just not enough time. It's like, it tells you to stop for like 7 minutes. I'm like, yeah, hold on, Karma. I need more than 7 minutes to do what I want to do at this particular stop. But it is great for people who want to say that it's more convenient in a gas vehicle, because I challenge you now that a lot of the charging stops, they're just as fast as pumping gas. It wasn't always the case, but the vehicles are improving and the charging is just getting so much faster. And we especially noticed the difference between how fast our 2016 Tesla will charge compared to our 2024. So super fast, quick charging stops are the norm on road trips, and it's impressive. But like I said, sometimes I want a little bit longer. Like when I'm in Brunswick, Georgia, and I want to go bowling. I can't even bowl one single game in the time that it wants us to charge. So I just charge a little bit longer. I just do what I do. Number 5 is interesting. We had an unexpected delay where traffic came to a screeching halt and the hazard lights came on Karma automatically. I think this is so interesting. I've hit a little traffic. Clearly there must be an accident up ahead. I've been sitting here for probably 10 minutes and the hazard lights came on automatically. I did not turn those on. I find that to be really interesting and really useful. I do have 16% battery, and there's a message that Sentry mode is currently unavailable due to insufficient charge. And then when we got past the issue and we started driving at regular speeds again, the hazard lights automatically went off. That was just such a cool little thing that I had never seen before. I'm sure that came from an over-the-air software update. It had to. And during that 35 minutes, we had the air conditioning going. It was summer, and our battery state of charge only dropped from 16% to 15% of 35 minutes of stop and go with the air conditioning blasting. So that's very comforting that you're not going to like have your battery like completely run out if you get stuck in a traffic jam like that. Just not gonna happen. We interrupt this video to give a very quick and special shout out to Mel and Linda Lohman of Cookeville, Tennessee, who watch TesLUCKY. This is a funny story. My parents met Mel and Linda at an RV group gathering, and they have a Tesla, and they said that they love their Tesla, and my mom likes to tell Tesla drivers that she meets about the TesLUCKY YouTube channel, like a good promoting momager will. And they already knew the channel. They were already subscribers of the channel. And they said that they found TesLUCKY just by doing a general search about Tesla, and that they enjoyed our content. And I thought that that was just such a crazy story, because we only have, as of the shooting of this video, November 11th, 2025, 1,891 subscribers. And my mom happens to meet one of them or two of them. I guess maybe they share their subscription. I don't know. But thank you for watching TesLUCKY, Mel and Linda, and continued safe travels to you in your Tesla and your RV. Number 6. I'm really just doing this with my hands to show you my Life of a Showgirl nails inspired by the new Taylor Swift album that we can't stop listening to. The songs are full of narcotics, I swear. Full self-driving does very well with cones. It's just interesting to me that the cones are in the middle of the road and it'll just like swerve you right around the cones. Very different from the old school auto steer, which I think would drive right over the cones. Karma in full self-driving does not. Cones, no problem. Number 7, full self-driving, hard braking is so much better this year versus last year. I feel like at street lights, the light would turn yellow and the car would just come to like a screeching halt, and like purses and all the belongings go flying off the seat in the back. And I just feel that Tesla has really smoothed out the braking in like sudden circumstances. Now, I mean, if a dog runs in front of the car and it has to stop, and I know that full self-driving would stop for a dog, it's gonna be abrupt. But a yellow light, much smoother than I noticed last year. I really, really like that improvement a lot. We're up to number 8. I didn't used to use Auto Park very much, but then I don't know why this summer I tapped on the little P on the parking spot at the superchargers, and I just really now am addicted to self-park at superchargers. Sometimes the spots are tight and there's cars next to you, and I just absolutely love not doing the backward maneuvering into the superchargers anymore. Auto Park, 2 thumbs up. Auto Park isn't new, but it was kind of a new observation to me because I had tried it once or twice before and thought it was just and now I think it's gotten much, much better, especially at the superchargers. I am at the end of a very remote road, and I can't believe that there is another car parked directly behind me. I stopped filming for like 10 minutes earlier because there was like a family in a Jeep that parked right in like the pretty like scenery out the window. And now I'm just gonna keep going with whatever car that is behind me. Number 9, full self-driving strikeouts. Strikes. Are they strikes or are they strikeouts? I think they're strikes. What did I write on the card? I wrote strikeouts. They really do go away. The first time I saw them, I was kind of panicked. Bye-bye, ICE vehicle. That's a Jeep. I love Jeeps. Bye-bye, Jeep. When I first experienced strikeouts during full self-driving, which is when the car says that you're not paying enough attention. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're like texting or taking pictures. I have had full self-driving strikeouts for just manipulating the navigation system in the MCU to change our destination, or sometimes I have even had them just daydreaming about motorcycles now in my shot. Why is there so much traffic at the end of Key Deer Boulevard? And why do people keep parking behind me? Can't they tell I'm filming for YouTube? It's so crazy. All right, I'm just gonna keep going, motorcycles or no motorcycles. And I am glad that these tourists are here in Big Pine Key and enjoying the beautiful scenery. They're probably looking for deer. Motorcycles are gone. Please go ahead and click the like button on this video. A little like makes a big difference to a small YouTube channel like TesLUCKY. Click join if you want to learn more about how to become a TesLUCKY channel member. We absolutely love each and every one of our TesLUCKY channel members. Number 10, there is a really handy new feature now with the phone and the Apple Watch. When you are at a supercharger, it tells you how many more minutes you have to reach to before you hit your charge level that's set in the MCU, or how much more time you need to just continue your journey. And it's so handy. Also really handy, number 11, there's now an option in the MCU navigation where you can search a long route, and that's so handy when you're driving and you're looking for a Starbucks. You don't want the car to route you to a Starbucks that's like requires a U-turn and driving like 4 miles in another direction, or driving 4 miles off the highway. Search a long route, so handy for finding your Starbucks or wherever you're looking for. Absolutely love that feature. Number 12, another big difference with full self-driving is that you just don't have to give the signal on the wheel very often anymore. You can literally sit there paying attention with your hands on your lap, ready to grab the wheel if necessary for a very long time, whereas it used to seem like every 45 seconds or a minute you had to like put pressure and jiggle the wheel. Typically, if there's no traffic around me, then I do have my hands kind of like relaxed and on my lap. Say hello to the white pickup truck that's doing a U-turn around me here at the end of Key Deer Boulevard. When there's a lot of traffic and I'm in a lane with traffic on the right and the left and trucks, then I definitely have my hands on the wheel. But there's sometimes when, there isn't a car in sight, it's just nice to like sit back and relax with your hands at your side or on your lap and not have to signal to the car, every minute that you're still there. Number 13 definitely is a random observation, and I don't really know if this was different from last year, but I just noticed that when you're in full self-driving and you are making curves, that you maintain your speed so nicely. I feel that as a human driver, I have a tendency to slow down on curves. Now, really sharp, like 90-degree turns, yes, of course you need to slow down. But there's times when it's just a slow, gradual turn. And I like the fact that the Tesla, maintains that speed with full self-driving, even when you're, curving to the right or to the left. because if you maintain the same speed, it's better at preserving battery, which is the same thing that would preserve gas in an ICE vehicle. And also sometimes you want to get there as soon as possible, and you want to keep your same speed at 65 or 70 or whatever it's set at, and not have that varying speed, every time, you have to like curve to the right or to the left. Does this make sense to anyone but me? I hope so. Let me know. Number 14 is a really amazing one. I saved this one for last. I was in New Jersey, ironically, on my way to a Starbucks when I was at a really busy road. So I need to make a left turn, and there's just traffic going in either direction, like very, very busy. And then all of a sudden, I know this happens to you as well, it's clear to the left, but not the right, or vice versa. Well, this one time it was like clear to the left, and one of the cars on the right, very courteous driver, slowed down and like was waving me to turn, and I thought for a moment that I was gonna have to take karma out of self-driving to like manually make that turn and take that opportunity, and the car just went. It was amazing. It seemed like the cameras noticed that driver waving me on, and this same exact thing happened to me twice at the same intersection. That's the end of the list, but not the end of the video. We're talking about the free supercharging now on this particular road trip. For the 4,079 miles, we added 1,158.86 kilowatt hours to the battery. What is a kilowatt hour? That is a measure of energy over a period of time compared to just a plain regular kilowatt, which is a measure of power in a single moment. Just a little trivia for you there. Now, I did a Google search to see what was the average cost of supercharging for July of 2025, and Google said 41 cents per kilowatt hour. So when you do the math to multiply the kilowatt hours times 41 cents per kilowatt hours, the amount of money that we saved with our free supercharging for life was $475.13. And the last piece of data I found so interesting, because I was thinking gas would have probably cost a lot more than that. And so I did the research, and here's how I calculated what we would have spent if we had been in a gas vehicle. First, I did a Google search for the average price of gas, July 2025. That showed up as $3.13. Then I asked Google what a comparable gas vehicle is to the Tesla Model Y, and Google said BMW X3. Google then said that the average gas mileage for a BMW X3 is between 20 and 33 miles per gallon. So let's just go with 27. If you divide 4,079 miles by 27, you get 151 gallons of gas times $3.13, $472. So I found it very interesting that in July 2025, the cost of supercharging for 4,000 miles was about the same as gas for 4,000 miles. But you do have to keep in mind that the superchargers do charge a premium rate. If you charge your Tesla at home, it would be significantly less. Thank you for watching this TesLUCKY video all the way to the end here in Big Pine Key on a chilly day, where I just might have to wear my Life as a Showgirl scarf that I bought from a street vendor in New York City. Don't you love it? Isn't it amazing? One more car driving to the end of Key Deer Boulevard. This is such a deserted road. Let me show you here really quick. This is the space I chose to film in, and it was just absolute traffic jam down here at the end of the road in Big Pine Key.